and gentlemen, let's continue here with the first round of the European Darts Grand Prix and bring to the stage a former winner on the Challenge Tour, playing in his second European Tour event, England's Matt Padgett. We now introduce a PDC World Championship quarter-finalist, the reigning PDC Unicorn World Youth Champion. It's the Dreammaker, Dimitri Vandenberg.
Dimitri Vandenberg, the young Belgian, the world youth champion, only 23 years old. But there's a significant part of me that wants to see Dimitri go on and have a long and illustrious career in this game, just to see if at the age of 63, 64, he still does all this business on the walk-on. And if his hips and ankles and knees can live up to it. The Dreammaker taking on Matt Padgett, a man who's only ever played one Euro Tour event before. That was the German Darts Masters in Berlin, more than 4 years ago now. He played in the first round against Dean Winstanley. He won a leg and he got done 6-1. He will be hoping, the left-hander from the East Midlands, that things go a little bit better this time around. It's been a long old wait. But Aaron Monk had a long old wait, and he made a winning return to Euro Tour action this afternoon. I'm Dan Dawson, Mike Lawrence alongside me for Padgett versus Vandenberg in the first round of the European Darts Grand Prix.
Yes, dancing Dimitri made it through the qualifiers here last night, beating Dennis Verhagen 6-2 and Roxy James Rodriguez 6-1. Matt Padgett, his route here via the UK qualifiers, beating Matt Edgar and Jason Cullen. But it will be Dimitri to get us underway, having won the throw backstage.
When you look at Padgett here, he is a man who has modelled his entire throw entirely on Phil Taylor. So it's like a mirror image of Phil Taylor, left-handed.
Game on.
You just watch the way he brings the dart up. You'll look at the darts he's throwing, the shape they are. I think they actually are Phil Taylor darts. He's looked at the most successful player in the sport and gone,
100.
if it's good enough for him, why not me?
Exactly, he must have been doing something right all those years.
Phil's tended to stick in the board.
61.
Thank heavens for that last dart.
Well, it's been a few years since Matt had his tour card. He's been on the Challenge Tour for a few years now, and he's
60.
occasionally crops up with a quarter-final run. He did that a few times last year, but wasn't regularly getting into the money, it has to be said.
Yeah, he won one of the Challenge Tour events back in 2016.
58.
A bowling alley technician, or at least he was. I'm not sure he's still doing it, Padgett. Dimitri Vandenberg's been doing a lot of that lately, and Jermaine Wattermainer looks thrilled about it.
Yes, high hopes for the young Belgian. Just 23 years old, Dimitri Vandenberg.
78. Dimitri recall 161.
And already down to a big finish here.
Jermaine Jermaine Wassermaner from the same management stable as Dimitri.
96.
He'll be playing tonight, Jermaine, against Tony Alcinas, Spaniard.
Yes, a growing mix of nationalities represented
Uruguay 65.
in these European Tour events. So the outer ball, in fact he's gone that way, knowing that he's got a bit of time on his hands. The double 18, and no messing at all.
Well, a hold a throw there for Dimitri. 15 darter, one maximum. It's the double first time of asking. Solid start to the match.
The winner of this one going through to take on the number 8 seed, Dave Chisnell, tomorrow. Second round day when the top 16 seeds all come into
100.
action.
Yeah, it might be a fortuitous draw that against Chizzy, because he missed the last Euro Tour because he wasn't feeling well. That looks loose, so I think Padgett will switch down the board here, and does do. Yeah, very good visit. Yeah, we saw Chizzy withdraw, but then he did turn up on the Pro Tour weekend last week in Wigan, and I think he was still struggling a little bit. It may have been a recurrence of a hernia problem that he had.
80.
So depending on how Chisnell is feeling, because he had been playing some very, very good darts earlier this year, having had this hernia problem seemingly addressed. But I think it may have flared up again and caused him some issues.
100.
Already seen Adrian Lewis withdraw because he's come down with a sort of flu or something along those lines this weekend.
96. Match record 131.
Let's see what Matt can do here from this 1-3-1. Well, that's not a good way to start. Decent recovery. We'll just look to mop up with Dimitri not on a finish.
75.
Yes, Adrian Lewis's place taken by a 5th Home Nations qualifier that came through last night. That being Robert Marjanovic.
Match record 56.
Double top to level the game up.
Are you sure the second leg, Matt Padgett?
No bother at all.
Game on.
Yes, tidy finishing from both players early on in this game.
134.
Dimitri getting down to the quarterfinals of the World Championships as Matt Padgett hits the first 180 for his campaign. And yes, Dimitri's also enjoyed a quarterfinal on the 6th Players' Championship event in Milton Keynes. His run being ended by Mervyn King.
100.
We'll see Mervyn King in action tomorrow. Oh, how's your luck?
23.
Well, he's had a couple of darts look pretty loose in the board, hasn't he? But that one seemed pretty secure, and he's popped one in the treble 1 and dislodged the one in the treble 20. Poor trade, that is, Padgett.
131.
Again, shake of the head because he doesn't like. They don't look secure in there, do they?
97.
You have to be playing on
136.
separate trebles every time he throws a dart at this rate.
Maybe needs to dig the sharpener out.
83.
So a good chance then for the young Belgian to nudge back in front. Well, that's better from Matt, putting a bit of pressure on the shot of 53.
So double 18 he's left again. This is the problem with double 18. This is the problem, and even if he is allowed back to the board by Padgett, he's going to have to waste a dart to split. Okay, treble 9 would have left tops. That does leave tops.
Ooh.
27. Dimitri, you require 9.
Close but no cigar for Padgett. So 1 for double 4. Well.
As you require 40.
Padgett back with a chance to steal. And an early break of throw.
Game shot in the third
And
leg.
does so.
Padgett. Fourth leg, Matt to throw first. Game on.
Well, given as good as he's getting here, Matt Padgett. Dimitri, it has to be said, was playing some fantastic stuff. And again, Padgett is just absolutely, he's baffled by how loose his darts are in the board.
I did wonder whether he'd switch after that first dart hit the 60. It looked very
85.
shaky in there.
Yeah, Dimitri was playing some fantastic stuff back end of last year, and obviously going into the World Championship where he went on to make the quarterfinals and only narrowly beaten by Rob Cross. This year it's not been stellar, not quite hitting those heights. We've seen him make one quarterfinal on the Pro Tour, but he only just got to the UK Open, and even then he didn't get into the money rounds there. Did have a run to the final day in Austria last time out the European Tour, got to the last 16, but not really been tearing things up. His first round exits both days last weekend in Wigan. Oh, Dimitri's turn to have a dart fall out the board.
You see the quizzical look on Padgett's face. It's a bogey number 165. But
41.
couldn't find a big treble there.
$137.
Yeah, he's done the minimum required. Leaves the finish. Padgett forced to go 14 ball. Bullseye it is then.
99.
And there we see the benefit of Dimitri van den Bergh getting down to a finish, forcing Padgett to use the bullseye route when he could have laid up and left that double top. Oh my. Oh, well that's why you go the bullseye route, because you cannot let players of this caliber have a shot at even checkouts like 158.
So double 8 for 3-1. Padgett does go 3-1 up.
Dimitri to throw first.
After Dimitri narrowly failed to take out that grandstand checkout.
$60.
Well, Padgett played the UK Open qualifiers this year and didn't win a bean over the 6 tournaments. In fact, you've got to go back to the UK Open qualifiers last year for the last time he picked up any money in a senior PDC event. He has been winning a few quid on the Challenge Tour, but that's the second tier of PDC darts.
$59.
Did go on and make the last 32 of the UK Open one year. That was fully 5 years ago now. That's when, back in the sort of days where Matt Padgett was a tour card holder, had it for 2011 and then 2014 and 15. Ooh, now then, just lay one on top, a la Phil Taylor. Just like that. 180 number 2 for the Punisher.
42.
Yes, among the names in action tomorrow, Michael van Gerwen, who sat out the Austrian event. I don't know whether he'll have his gong awarded to him by the King of the Netherlands pinned to his shirt tomorrow.
Well, he wasn't wearing it last night in Birmingham with the Premier League, so I assume not, although he was insisting that everybody refer to him as Sir. Now then, 14 and ball for Dimitri. And Dimitri hits it when Padgett couldn't, and he holds his throw.
To throw first. Game on.
Nicely done by the Dream Maker. Yes, we'll also see Peter Wright, reigning world champion Rob Cross in action tomorrow. Gerwyn Price, who made the final in Austria last time out. Michael Smith, who we mentioned earlier, doing very well in the Premier League this year.
Well, Peter Wright last night was very bullish about his chances here. He said, look, I won it last year. I smashed Michael up 6-0 in the final. I know I'm going to win it again. Nothing wrong with a bit of confidence. I think he'll have to play better than he did last night, though, as he beat Simon Whitlock in the Premier League, but it wasn't anything to write home about. Certainly not in the same league as MVG's 111 average.
43.
Yes, that was extraordinary. And MVG topping the table yet again in the Premier League.
See, that's another loose one. He can't stay there anyway. He's got to move to the 18s. Okay, moves to the bullseye. Fair enough. Yeah, single 18 would have left 167, but 160 is an even better finish than that.
140. Match required 160.
One of the fastest throws in darts, Vincent van der Voort. Good to see him back in the European Tour stage. He'll be in action next against Ireland's Steve Lennon. And talking of fast throwers, we've got rapid Ricky Evans
65.
taking on Kyle Anderson later on this evening. That should be another goodie in the first round here.
$134. Match of 195.
Got options here. Could go bullseye. Does go bullseye, and he's covering a lot of it up. But he's going to have to find a bit of it. And which bit can you hit? Which bit can you see? That bit!
He showed the six flag. Matt Padgett. 7 flag Dimitri to throw.
As cool as you like.
Game on.
Bit of purpose in that stride to the back of the stage from Matt Padgett. He can sense a first senior, fully fledged PDC Tour victory in a ranking game for well over a year. And he's doing it with a mid-90s average, defying, what, a 98 average at the minute from Dimitri van den Bergh.
And both players enjoying success on the bullseye.
Oh.
177.
Second time we've seen Dimitri pile in a big three-treble visit, and he's nudged his average over the 100 mark. He's only been good enough for 2 legs. Quite a different state of affairs for Matt Padgett as when he appeared on the Euro Tour before, 4 years ago, losing 6-1 to Dean Winstanley.
$55. $57. Between 129.
Again, Padgett obviously not happy with the lie of those darts, but let's see if Dimitri can take out another big finish here.
89.
He's got a bit of time on his hands. And Dimitri will have plenty of time if he needs it to reduce the arrears to just one leg by taking out double top.
And you show the 7th leg, Dimitri Van.
Just needs the one dart.
8 leg Matt to throw first. Game on.
13 darter from Dimitri. May have to find another leg similar to that to break the Padgett throw. He's going to have to find a breaker throw from somewhere, Dimitri.
100.
He is averaging 99. It's not been a poor performance from Dimitri. It's just been that Padgett has taken his chances
57.
when they've presented themselves.
$134.
Good cover on the 19s.
Some real East Midlands presence here the opening day of the European Darts Grand Prix. Not only got Matt Padgett from Ilkeston, between Nottingham and Derby.
53.
Jamie Caven, based in Derby, originally from Leicester. Kyle Anderson, the Australian, living in Nottingham nowadays.
$140.
Strong leg of darts this from Padgett. 127 left after 9. Vandenberg even filling this up, doesn't get him to a finish.
140. Actually, 127.
So a great opportunity then for Padgett.
Choosing to stay up there, I think.
$37.
Made a mess of that. And when he returns, he may only get one dart at the bullseye for the leg. Oh, Dimitri.
76.
Poor last dart from Vandenberg. Even a single 20 would have left him on a finish. And that means that Padgett can go ball first to leave double top. And he pins double top. Dimitri hits him with a 13 darter. Padgett comes straight back with a 14 darter. He is one leg away from his first ever win on the European Tour.
100.
Yes, impressive stuff from the 36-year-old. He's now playing with a bit of a smile on his face.
Well, there is only one Phil Taylor, but Matt Padgett is genuinely doing an impression of him. He's been doing an impression of Phil Taylor for his entire career. At least in how he throws. He's not been quite as successful, it has to be said, but it's working today. At the minute, he's just had a little bit too much, even for Dimitri Vandenberg, who is averaging in the very high 90s, around about the 98 mark. There, 98.21. Padgett, the finishing 5 out of 7 for Matt Padgett on the doubles. That is superb. 98. And to be honest, I'd give him an honorary extra few percent on the finishing, up towards 80, just because that 95 on the bullseye, we could only see about half of the target.
Yeah, that was cool.
47.
Perfect. Doesn't make use of it. And to be fair, at 306, you're starting on the 20s, then you're making life very difficult for yourself. You've got to go and fill it up or stick the first 2 in to leave yourself on a finish. Dimitri should be on a finish himself. He is going to be.
96.
A couple of 14 darters there and a 15, decent from Padgett. Dimitri with that 13 darter, but it could be in vain, as you say, Dan.
57. Dimitri require 129.
21 scored, can't finish from there with 2 darts. So Padgett will have a look at the 150.
43.
Oh, dear. Now that opens the door. It suggests Padgett might even get 2 visits from here. You're going to need 2 visits from here. But with Dimitri only hitting 38% of his darts at double, and if he's only going to get 1 for the leg at the bullseye, the end might be nigh for the Dream Maker. Pressure. Oh my word, that is at the 18s. That is at the 18s. That is not at treble 13. It was a shocker of a dart.
46.
Yes, frustration on the face of the young Belgian. Well, 89. 86 left.
23.
Well, again with the finishing line in sight, it was Matt's turn to make a bit of a mess of that. The tops then for Dimitri. Double five, groans from the audience.
30. Match requires 68.
Matt Padgett has only missed 2 darts at double in this entire match. Single 19. Oh my word, he's missed a big number again. Some
19.
Absolutely shocking setup play from Matt Padgett and Dimitri van den Bergh in the last few visits. Oh. And he has allowed Dimitri a bit of a lifeline there, because Dimitri should have been looking at surviving match darts to come through that leg. And in the end, Matt Padgett has just done nothing. He's not got from 91, he's thrown 9 darts and not got a leg for dart for the leg.
Yeah.
Mess.
A real old mess. But he goes again. He's got the throw here, but not the best of opening visits. And Dimitri's going to look to punish him.
And for a guy who looked pretty assured throughout this match and was holding off the World Youth Champion and World Championship quarter-finalist, despite the fact that Dimitri is averaging up near 100 for significant portions of this game, as soon as the finishing line got there, he started missing, and started missing in ways that he'd not been missing all the way through this match. Is that a coincidence, do we think? Or do we think that Matt Padgett is panicking slightly? With not only a first win in a full PDC ranking event for well over a year, a first win ever on the Euro Tour, and doubling his money from $1,000 to $2,000 with the possibility of potentially 23 more over the course of this weekend.
99.
Has he started to think about that?
Yes. You do wonder, and it wouldn't be a surprise if anyone did in his position.
140.
Dimitri could yet get away with this. Right, so 57 leaves him 171. When if he'd stayed on the 19s and hit a single 19, he would have left 170. Matt Padgett, yeah, now it dawns on him. Now it dawns on Padgett. And it may be that he's panicking, it may be that he's thinking about all this stuff, or it may be that he is not thinking at all, Matt Padgett. And he's going to stick another one in there, isn't he, where he would have got a dart for the bullseye for the match. Yes, he is. There we go. How often do you see that? How often do you see it? Well, he at least sets it up and he asks the question. There is pressure on this for Dimitri van den Bergh, but he knows if he takes it, he is favourite for this match. And it's that double 18 again. Great guide.
Oh, he goes the wrong side.
That requires 32.
Well, the tale of missed opportunities continues. Padgett then for the match, double 16 and hits it first time.
And the match,
A yelp of relief from Matt Padgett, his first win on the European Tour, knocking out Dimitri van den Bergh and ending the dreams of the dream maker. You can see the relief is palpable for Matt Padgett, who will take on Dave Chisnell in round 2 tomorrow. And Dan will have a few words with Matt Padgett before we bring the next 2 players on stage. Vincent van der Voort up against the Irishman Steve Lennon.
Matt, congratulations. Your first ever win on a Euro Tour stage.
Any stage really, on the PDC stage, to be honest.
Was there a bit of nerves getting towards the finishing line there? Because you played so solidly right the way through, and then near the end, it all got a bit shaky.
It was a bit shaky all the way through, to be honest, because they were landing a bit weird. I don't really know what was going off. I think I might need to make an adjustment in the back room, but they were really sitting down, and I want to sort that out, because I've been playing all right just lately.
Well,
And I think a chance to show it.
what does it mean to you to be able to qualify for this, get up on a big stage, and then going into tomorrow playing against a seeded player?
It's been nice to play Chizzy. I've played him before, though, so you know what I mean. It's nice. It's nice.
This is what it's all about, though, PDC Darcy. This place is going to be absolutely jumping tomorrow. There's big money on, you know, it's been broadcast all over the world. This is why you play the game, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I'll play Chizzy tomorrow. I think it'll be a good game, actually. I think if I can sort out the problems with the darts landing a bit funny, it'll be a good game tomorrow.
All right, your winner, ladies and gentlemen, Matt Padgett will take on Dave Chisnell tomorrow. We'll be back in just a few moments' time. One of the games of the afternoon session, Steve Lennon and Vincent van der Voort.